Everyone thinks it's obvious when a man is in love that he becomes clearer, more expressive, more confident. But the truth is, the men who feel it the deepest rarely look like that at all. They look confusing. They get quiet. They pull back for a moment, and suddenly you start wondering if you did something wrong, if you missed a sign, if he's losing interest. But what if that shift you're sensing isn't distance at all? What if the way he seems unsure around you, the way he pauses before he speaks, the way he watches you for just a second too long, isn't avoidance, but the earliest, most fragile signs that he's falling in love? Because when a man is truly falling, it doesn't erupt loudly. It doesn't announce itself. It shows up in the softest places he tries hardest to hide. You think he's ignoring you. He thinks he's hiding how much he cares. And in that tiny misunderstanding, everything shifts. You start doubting yourself. He starts retreating into his own head. Two people feeling the same connection, but neither seeing the truth staring them in the face. And here's where everything gets tangled. If you misread these quiet moments, you might pull away right when he's trying to figure out how to step closer. You might assume he's drifting when his feelings are actually growing faster than he can regulate. But once you learn how to read these signs for what they truly are, everything changes. You stop guessing. You stop shrinking yourself. You finally see him clearly. Today, I'm going to show you 12 hidden signs he's not ignoring you at all. He's in love. Not the cliches, not the obvious things. The quiet shifts, the instinctive reactions, the moments where his heart speaks before he can cover it up. Because here's the part no one tells you. Misreading these subtle signals can change the entire direction of a connection. If you assume his quiet moments mean he doesn't care, you might start protecting yourself. You might match his distance. You might pull back just enough that he feels it, and suddenly he thinks you're the one losing interest. One small misunderstanding becomes a slow unraveling. And what could have grown into something real starts dissolving before either of you understand why. But the truth is, these signals aren't signs of disinterest. They're signs of someone who feels more than he knows how to admit. And if you can recognize what his behavior actually means, everything becomes clearer. You stop taking his hesitation personally. You stop assuming the worst. You stop telling yourself stories built from fear instead of facts. Because the moments that feel the most confusing are often the moments when his emotions are strongest. Those little pauses, those subtle shifts, those quiet inconsistencies, they're not him losing interest. They're him trying to handle feelings he didn't expect to feel this intensely. And once you see that, you won't question yourself anymore. You'll finally see the truth behind the behaviors you keep replaying in your mind. One of the first hidden signs he's in love isn't warmth or closeness at all. It's a sudden shift in his energy that feels like distance. And it throws you off because you expect a man who's falling for you to lean in, to get clearer, to show more interest. But the men who feel it the strongest often do the opposite. They pull back, not because they're ignoring you, but because the feelings hit harder than they expected. Love disrupts his balance. It shakes the calm he normally has. Suddenly, he cares about every word he says, every move he makes, every tiny moment where he could mess this up. And that pressure makes him take a small step back, not away from you, but away from the intensity he feels inside himself. You'll see it in the way he gets quieter for a moment, a little more thoughtful, a little more careful in ways he never was before. He's not shutting you out. He's trying to steady himself. But here's what gives him away. That distance never holds. He always finds his way back with a message, a question, an excuse to reconnect, something small that pulls him right back into your orbit. He can't stay away because his heart is already moving toward you, even if his thoughts are still catching up. That push and pull isn't mixed signals. It's a man trying to manage feelings he wasn't prepared to feel this deeply. You'll also see it in his eyes long before you ever hear it in his words. A man can control his tone. He can control his texting habits. He can control the version of himself he thinks he's showing you. But his eyes give everything away before he's ready for you to know. When a man is falling in love, he doesn't stare dramatically that would feel too obvious, too exposed. Instead, it's the quick, instinctive glances he can't suppress. He'll look at you the moment you smile, like he's trying to memorize it. He'll steal a glance when he thinks you're not paying attention, then look away fast the second you catch him. And around other people, especially when someone else has your attention, his eyes sharpen in a way he doesn't even realize. It's not possession. It's not jealousy. It's the way emotion slips out through instinct before his logic can tighten the lid again. Because when a man is falling, his eyes don't just see you, they study you, follow you, react to you. Even when he's trying to appear calm, that quiet pull shows up every single time. He's not ignoring you. He's noticing you so much, he's trying not to make it obvious. Another sign shows up in something he doesn't even notice he's doing. He remembers things, not the obvious things everyone would remember, but the tiny throwaway details you barely recall mentioning. When a man is in love, his mind starts holding on to pieces of you without his permission. A comment you made weeks ago, a place you said you liked once in passing, a story you told that seemed small to you, a preference you barely emphasized. And then one day, he brings it up naturally, almost casually, as if it was nothing. But it's not nothing, it's everything. Because men don't store that level of detail for people they feel neutral about. They don't archive your words in the back of their mind unless those words matter to them. His memory sharpens around you specifically, almost like his brain is tagging little moments and saving them, because some part of him is already planning to understand you, connect with you, or show up for you in ways he can't yet express. And it's never just the detail, it's the timing. He brings these things up right when the connection feels closer, or when he senses you pulling away and unconsciously tries to pull you back in, or when he wants to create a moment of closeness, without making it obvious he's doing that. His heart tries to reveal itself without exposing itself entirely. He's not showing off. He's not strategizing. He's not trying to impress you. He's leaking affection through the cracks. Because when a man is falling, his attention becomes selective. His mind becomes attentive. And the things you assumed he forgot become the things he repeats back to you in the exact moment he wants you to feel seen. He's not ignoring you. He's storing you. You'll also see the truth in the way his body reacts around you before he has any idea it's happening. A man can steady his voice. He can choose his words. He can rehearse the version of himself he wants you to experience. But his body, his posture, his attention, his energy, those things don't lie. When a man is falling in love, his body starts betraying him in the most subtle, involuntary ways. You'll notice he stands a little closer without realizing it. He angles himself toward you, even when he's pretending to focus on something else. His shoulders straighten. His chest lifts. His attention sharpens the moment you walk into a room, almost like his instincts wake up before his logic catches on. His body becomes alert in your presence, not out of discomfort, but because some part of him is trying to get closer to you without crossing a line he's scared to cross too soon. And then, there's the nervous energy he tries to control but can't. The man who is normally composed might suddenly fidget with his hands, adjust his shirt, run a hand through his hair, or shift his weight like he's trying to ground himself. His voice might soften or tighten. He might speak a little slower, laugh a little more awkwardly, or stumble over a sentence he would normally say effortlessly. He's not anxious around you. He's anxious because he likes you. It's that tension between wanting to impress you and wanting to hide how much you affect him. You'll see it in the way his expression shifts when you talk to someone else, or how quickly he reacts when you laugh, or how intently he listens even when he's pretending not to. His body reveals a level of emotional investment he's not ready to say out loud. He's not ignoring you. he's trying to control what his body already gave away. Another sign appears in the smallest acts of effort, not grand gestures, not dramatic declarations, but the quiet, consistent little things he does without drawing attention to himself. When a man is falling in love, his effort doesn't show up in fireworks. It shows up in timing. It shows up in presence. It shows up in the way he steps into your world just slightly more than he needs to. You'll notice it in the way he checks in at just the right moment. A quick message that seems casual on the surface, but lands exactly when you need it. A thoughtful question about something you mentioned earlier, something you didn't expect him to remember. A small favor he offers because he just happened to be there, or didn't mind, even though he absolutely didn't have to. He's not trying to impress you, he's trying to stay connected to you without making you feel pressured. And the most revealing part? He acts like it's nothing. Like he just naturally slid into the right place at the right time. But people don't naturally do that unless their heart is paying attention. He's not checking in randomly, he's checking in because your emotions matter to him, because your comfort matters, because your happiness feels important in a way he can't logically justify yet. And his effort is always subtle, always soft, always just under the threshold of what he thinks would expose him too much. Men don't give this kind of quiet, consistent energy to someone they feel neutral about. They don't invest like this unless the connection already means something to them. The small things are his truth, leaking through in ways he hopes you won't analyze too closely. He's not ignoring you. He's investing in you in the safest way he knows how, through the little actions that slip out before he can label what he's feeling. You'll notice something else too, moments where his words suddenly shrink, not because he has nothing to say, but because he has too much he's trying not to say. When a man is falling in love, there are flashes where the emotions get ahead of him, and silence becomes the only way he knows how to steady himself. You'll hear it when another man's name comes up, when someone else gives you attention, when the conversation drifts into vulnerable territory faster than he was prepared for. His tone softens, his responses get shorter, his pace slows down just enough for you to feel the shift. Not because he's annoyed, not because he's pulling away, but because he's trying to keep his feelings from spilling out too quickly. It's not the silence of distance, it's the silence of someone wrestling with emotions he wasn't ready to reveal. You'll notice the half-second pause before he answers, like he's editing himself in real time. The tiny flicker in his expression, like part of him got startled by how strongly he reacted. The way his energy dips for just a moment before he recalibrates and comes back to the conversation, smiling like nothing happened. And you're left wondering why that tiny shift felt so loaded. It's because it was loaded. Those quiet drops in energy are moments where the truth almost slips out. The places where he's fighting the urge to reveal more than he thinks he should. A man who feels nothing stays consistent. A man who's falling has moments where the depth of his feelings catches him off guard. He's not ignoring you. He's protecting himself long enough to understand the emotions that keep rising faster than his composure can keep up. There's another sign that slips out before he can stop it, a quiet, almost invisible competitiveness that only shows up around you. He won't make it obvious. He won't try to dominate the room or show off. But the moment another man makes you laugh, or compliments you, or steps even a little into your space, something in him reacts. Not dramatically, not aggressively, just noticeably. If someone else adds something to the conversation, he'll casually add something a little deeper, something that feels more personal, like he wants to show that he understands you in a way the other person doesn't. If another man gets your attention, he'll find a subtle way to step into the moment, not to outshine anyone, but to quietly stand out. And if someone compliments you, he'll say something softer, something more meaningful, something that feels like it came from someone who actually sees you. This isn't ego speaking. It's not insecurity taking over. It's emotion, real emotion rising to the surface in the one way he feels he can control. Falling in love makes a man sensitive to the smallest shifts in your attention. He becomes attuned to who makes you laugh, who you talk to, who seems to light you up. Not because he wants to compete, but because he suddenly wants to matter. He wants to be the one who affects you the way others do. And here's the part that reveals everything. He doesn't act like this around anyone else. He doesn't have this reflexive need to stay relevant, present, engaged, unless his heart is deeply, silently invested. That soft competitiveness only shows up when feelings are involved. It's the instinctual pull of someone who wants to be significant in your world, but isn't sure yet if he's allowed to claim that space. He's not ignoring you. He's fighting the internal tug of war between wanting to stand out and wanting to stay subtle enough not to scare you away. There's also a certain kind of irritation he can't hide. Not real anger, not frustration with you, but tiny flashes of emotion that slip out before he can smooth his expression again. When a man is falling in love, he doesn't explode. He doesn't accuse. He doesn't confront. But he does react in subtle, fleeting ways he wishes you wouldn't notice. You'll see it in the micro-expressions, the slight lift of an eyebrow, the soft tightening of his jaw, the extra beat of silence before he answers a simple question. You'll hear it in the way he asks, "Who was that?" with a tone just a shade sharper than usual, like he's trying to sound casual but something inside him got triggered. And right after it slips out, he usually tries to recover. He'll change the subject, lower his voice, pretend the moment didn't happen at all. Because the last thing he wants is to reveal jealousy he doesn't feel ready to explain yet. Sometimes, it comes wrapped in humor. A small joke with too much truth underneath it. A playful comment that doesn't quite erase the tension. A smile that doesn't fully reach his eyes when he tries to brush it off. These aren't signs of possession or control, they're signs of vulnerability he didn't prepare for. The timing is what gives him away. It's always when someone else compliments you, or when you talk about another guy, or when you seem excited about something he isn't part of, or when he suddenly realizes someone else might have access to you in a way he wishes he did. He's not angry. He's afraid. Afraid of caring too much too quickly. Afraid of showing more emotion than he thinks he's allowed to. Afraid of losing something he hasn't even fully claimed yet. A man who feels nothing stays indifferent. A man who is falling in love feels these moments in ways he can't fully hide. And even if he masks it fast, you felt it. Because his heart reacted before he could regain control. There's another shift you'll feel in him. His playfulness changes. It becomes softer, warmer, more connected than the casual joking he shares with everyone else. When a man is falling in love, humor becomes the safest doorway he has into emotional closeness. It's the bridge he uses when he wants to pull you toward him without exposing the full weight of what he feels. You'll notice he teases you a little more than he used to, but the teasing isn't sharp, it's gentle, it's personal. It lands in a way that makes you feel seen instead of mocked. He'll mimic something you said in a light-hearted way, exaggerate a moment to make you laugh, or create an inside joke that only the two of you share. That's the key, you become a unit through humor. A small, private world he builds instinctively. And here's the part that matters most. This playfulness doesn't show up randomly. It always appears right after something inside him feels slightly unsettled. When someone else caught your attention. When he sensed a moment of distance between you. When he felt insecure without understanding why. His humor becomes the thread he throws toward you, hoping you'll pick it up and pull him closer again. It's his way of reconnecting without admitting that he needed that reassurance. Watch his face during those playful moments. The way his eyes soften, the way tension leaves his shoulders the moment you laugh, the way he watches your reaction like your smile is oxygen. Men don't create inside jokes with someone they feel neutral about. They don't use humor as a lifeline unless your presence means something deep, something steady, something he's trying not to reveal too soon. This kind of teasing isn't surface-level flirting. It's emotional attachment wearing a softer disguise. Because when a man is falling but still afraid of missteps, he reaches for the one thing that feels natural and safe, making you smile. Your laughter calms the little storms inside him. And every playful moment is another way his heart reaches out before he finds the courage to say the words out loud. You'll also notice a quiet protectiveness begin to surface, not the loud, dramatic kind you see in movies, and not the possessive kind that crosses boundaries. This is something gentler, something instinctive, something that shows he cares about your well-being in a way he can't fully explain yet. When a man is falling in love, he doesn't try to take over your life, he simply starts looking out for you in ways he doesn't do with anyone else. It shows up in the smallest, most seemingly insignificant moments. He'll check that you got home safely. He'll notice when you're tired even if you didn't say anything. He steps a little closer when the environment feels uncomfortable. He offers help before you even ask, not because he thinks you're incapable, but because the thought of you being unsupported doesn't sit well with him. It's subtle, but it's consistent. He doesn't make a big deal out of any of it. In fact, he downplays it if you mention it. He'll say, "Oh, it's nothing," or "I just wanted to make sure you were okay," as if his instinctive concern isn't already revealing everything. But he doesn't behave like this with everyone. This kind of quiet vigilance, this gentle attentiveness, this sensitivity to your comfort, he reserves it for someone who has already slipped into his heart. Watch the way he positions himself when the two of you are walking, the way he subtly makes space for you in a crowd, the way his tone shifts just slightly when he checks in on how you're feeling. These are not calculated gestures. They're reflexes born from emotion. When he cares, even the smallest discomfort in you rings louder in him. And he responds before he has a chance to think about what that response says. He's not ignoring you. He's protecting you in the softest ways he knows how. Letting his care show in actions he hopes you won't overanalyze, but secretly hopes you'll feel. There's another shift that happens when a man is secretly falling in love. He starts opening up in small, unguarded ways he didn't plan and doesn't fully understand. Not with dramatic confessions, not with deep emotional monologues. It's quieter than that, more vulnerable than that, more revealing because of how unintentional it is. You'll hear it when he tells you about something that bothered him that day, even though he usually brushes things off, or when he shares a childhood memory that seems random but actually holds emotional weight, or when he admits a fear, a doubt, a dream softly, almost accidentally, like the words slipped out before he could pull them back. He'll reveal pieces of his inner world without dressing them up or rehearsing them. It's raw, it's simple, and it's sincere. Men don't do this casually. They don't offer emotional access to someone unless something in them feels anchored, safe, understood, drawn in. Vulnerability for a man isn't just sharing information. It's opening a door he usually keeps bolted shut, and he opens it slowly, carefully, almost imperceptibly. But you'll notice it. You'll feel it. The tone of his voice shifts. The rhythm of the conversation softens. He's letting you pass the surface without meaning to. He doesn't do this with everyone. Most people get the polished version, the easy stories, the charming exterior. But with you, the guard slips. He tells you things he doesn't tell his friends. He brings up topics that reveal who he is beneath the image he projects. He gives you glimpses into the quiet parts of him he doesn't usually expose. And each time he shares something personal, he watches just for a moment to see how you receive it. He's not ignoring you. He's trusting you. And for a man who's falling in love, trust is the most intimate confession he can give, long before he ever says the words. And then there's the sign he couldn't hide even if he tried, the way he always comes back. No matter how much he tries to play it cool, no matter how overwhelmed he feels, no matter how much he steps back for a moment to manage emotions he doesn't fully understand yet, something in him keeps pulling him toward you. It's not logical. It's not strategic. It's not something he plans. It's instinct. You'll feel it in the rhythm of his behavior. He gets quiet for a day, and then suddenly he's checking in again. He pulls back for a moment, then finds a reason, any reason to reconnect. A question, a comment, a shared memory.